Yesterday, I went out and picked up a gentleman's 4740, just recently acquired.
The gentleman bought it at an auction, and he found that there was a few things that were a little bit odd with it.
There's something up there with one of the manifolds.
I don't think it's got any mufflers on it. It sounds too raw for me.
I didn't see any looking.
It doesn't have any mufflers on it. That's crazy.
This is the one you don't drive to work at 5 in the morning.
So at the Guild, we love turning classic cars into fire-breathing hot rods. But when they've been modified before they come here, you never know what you're gonna get.
What's the toggle switch for? Did he tell you that?
No. I wonder if he even knew he had a toggle switch that does something that we don't know what it does yet.
Oh, no way.
Has he got a tilt box?
Yes.
Get out! The customer never told me about it. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even know it's there. You gotta take a picture and send it to him.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be freaked out.
The 47 F100, it's a pretty cool truck, and somebody did a great restoration job on it years ago.
I like the way they did the power window switches and stuff, though, with the contacts. They did a nice job with that.
Yeah, so it's kind of been what we call a resto mod. So they've taken the truck and they actually built a whole new frame, chassis, suspension. It's got some really wide tires on the back. Somebody's made those rims.
Yeah, this is another car that we get in with a lot of really good parts.
It looks like a pretty clean, well-built truck. The paint's nice. Looks like it's been done well. He wants, this visor adjusted up higher because he's quite tall. He wants to get the three-point harness seat belts in on both sides.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean about the gas
The gas pedal, yeah, it's on a...
funky angle.
Yeah, and when you push down on it, your foot kind of wants to roll off. So
Yeah.
he wants that straightened out as well. But then he said he wanted air conditioning kind of at the end. So I don't know, that might be a bit of a stretch because of the motor. The engine's a 455 Oldsmobile engine though. So it's really filling up the engine bay, even though it's a pickup truck, it's filling it up pretty good. If it had a 350 Chevy, there's
351 or
or
whatever.
anything, a Ford motor or Chevy engine, just something that's not cut quite as wide.
So the client wants a more reliable vehicle and add some creature comforts. So what we're gonna do is modify things and make sure everything fits.
And so we're just gonna install an air conditioning system on this old Ford truck. And I don't have very much room. And it actually has a 455 Oldsmobile motor in this 47. This would have had a flathead in it or a 6-cylinder. So a much smaller engine than this 455 Oldsmobile engine. It would have been easier if it had the original flathead in it to install the EC. And it's not like it's a small little unit. The thing's a pretty big, heavy thing here, right? So I have to figure out where it's gonna go, and I think it's gonna go right up in here and relocate the alternator. A little bit of a chore.
Anytime you get into customization, there's a lot of different things you have to go through. This one, they never thought about putting air into it. Well, now we have to change alternator from the right side of the engine to the left side of the engine so we can make room for the compressor to go in.
And I got a power steering pump right here too, so I gotta be able to get my belt on. Might have to do some trimming on the bracket to get the belt lined up, because right now how it's just, the belt's not gonna work. But I always, everything, you do one thing and then you ended up with the compound problems along the line, so makes it interesting.
Up and away. This thing's getting pretty small, so I just want to have the real motor in there so that I can view how much room there is to work with as far as the brakes and the steering.
1930 Dodge Brothers pickup came in last year.
No, not turning over. That's not good.
So after we gave the customers the results of our inspection, they decided to go with a full custom. And he's supplied us with an LS motor with a 6-speed transmission. Talon's done a great job extending the cab, chopping it. This thing is gonna be one sexy hot rod when we're done.
The roller over there. always scary dealing with a motor hanging on a chain. They're not super light.
When building a hot rod from the ground up, mocking up the motor and transmission is crucial
Okay, we'll lower it down a little bit. Nice and gentle.
because it determines a lot of things. The steering, the suspension, the position of the cab. This is where it has to start. I mean, you start in the basement and work your way up.
We gotta lose this canister.
So in this case, we have a monster LS3 6.2 liter, which is over twice the size of the original motor, but about 6 times the horsepower. So everything has to be perfect.
I'm amazed that unscrewed. 90-year-old screws. Yeah. Wow. It's in. Well, that was easy. It's easy because I made it that way. If I didn't have a mock-up block and already have the motor mounts tacked into place, this would have been a nightmare.
Okay. Give her a yank. We got it.
You good?
Yeah, keep coming. Everybody here is pretty jaded. I mean, we see a lot of very interesting artifacts coming and going.
Wow.
So when word got out in the back of the shop that there was a Vincent sitting out on a truck, everybody came out.
It's a pretty rare bike. Pretty expensive too.
This is the holy grail of motorcycles.
Got your feet on it? Yep. Boom.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I didn't think one would be coming through the door anytime soon.
That's a Vincent Black Shadow, 1953. That was the fastest bike until 1975.
Vincent was a British manufacturer of motorcycles, and for their day and age, and for considerable years after they were made, they were the fastest bikes in the world.
That goes 120. Stock engine.
You know, they were used in racing where they gained a hell of a reputation, but they were also usable on the road. You could jump on your Vincent Black Shadow, drive it to the track, race it for the day, get back on it, drive it home.
I got 15 other bikes, but that is something else.
When you first look at it, it resembles other bikes of the period, but then when you really start looking at it, you start to see all of these differences. Like, there's no frame. It's just assembled from its bits. I mean, it's really masterful. There's a reason cream rises to the top, eh?
I think they built 1,600, and they're pretty rare.
This bike is in superb condition. I mean, it's been beautifully maintained, so it needs nothing. I mean, we're gonna do a fire up, and we do have to speak to his mechanic because there's a process. But other than that, we're not doing anything other than looking for a new home.
Definitely pretty. It is a beautiful bike.
All right, I'm gonna shorten this up and see how that goes. So I just topped that off there. Yep. That belt looks pretty good. I just gotta like get a shorter bolt. All right, that's a problem solved because the alternator will go here, no problem. No problem.
They make kits for these, and they're set for hot rods and vehicles like this. So everything is available to do it. It's just a lot more work to do it afterwards than it would be to do it during the customization of the truck from the beginning. It's just about making space and utilizing what space you have. You know, you're cramming all these items into a small space that was never meant to have them.
It's all like a big puzzle. The cars come apart all the time, and then go back together, and then go back apart.
How many guild members does it take to start an old motorcycle?
Probably 9 or 10, judging by the audience in the background.
Come on. Pain. This is a pain. Today I'm just finishing the wiring up for the AC unit. Oh, it's just hard to work on that thing. And the wiring is a mess under the dash, so I'm trying to clean up stuff and add my own more wiring, so I don't want to make more of a mess, so I'm just trying to make it nice and neat. I'm having so much trouble here doing a simple thing. They all look good on the outside until you get inside and start to see what other people have done sometimes, and that's when it's like, what's going on here? I get battery power right here, but somebody, when they put this car together, they glued all the carpets in. So like I can't, to try to lift the carpet now, to try to run a wire underneath it, I'm in a mess because it's all completely glued down. Why would somebody glue the carpet down? Oh, it's lunchtime. It's lunchtime.
No, that fits like a glove. That's beautiful. Now you got your work cut out for you.
Yep, lots of parts to go.
Now that the motor's been mocked in, we can start fabricating and assembling the other parts.
We take this space and put this much stuff in it.
I know, shoehorn it.
Fabulous.
A huge part of putting the motor in is so I can see how much room I have for stuff like the travel of this brake lever. So now I can see where the motor is, and I can see that this is gonna clear. Whereas if I didn't have the motor in before, I would have just been guessing. Probably would have ran into problems. Let the sparks fly. So I've fabricated some mounts for the master brake cylinder for the 1930 Dodge. I only cut about 90% of the way through. So that's a little trick I learned in the war working on Army Jeeps. You give it a cut, and then that's gonna ensure that it bends right on the line you want. And once you get the shape you want, then you can weld this up, and it's just as strong as it ever was. And Dougie's welding them onto the frame now. We just take the cab off to get in there and weld on it. It makes it a lot easier. The cars come apart all the time. Stuff gets taken apart and put back together. You need to fit pieces, and it's all like a big puzzle. They come apart a lot, and then go back together, and then go back apart. Right now, it's in the metalwork stage. So we're making all the pieces, making everything work, and then we're assembling the thing.
Basically, just gonna try and fit this as best I can, and then weld it solid, grind it, and make it pretty.
Decompression's in.
So kick it over a couple of
Oh,
times.
hold on. What gear's it in?
It's in neutral.
Are you sure?
You just rolled it here.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna get one more.
This is not the right angle to be doing this. What are you two watching?
I think you're supposed to mount it when you kick it, so you can give it a good up on the compression and ba-boom off.
All right, let's see you do it.
Come and help.
No, not bad. It's not as easy from that side, is it?
How many guild members does it take to start an old motorcycle?
Probably 9 or 10, judging by the audience in the background. There we go. Nice.
Yeah, I think the extra weight helped.
Yeah, I think so. That got her kicked over.
It is a beautiful motorcycle in perfect condition. My job now is to find somebody to sell it to for the owner.
So it wasn't just a fluke.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
Well, yeah, I got everything wired up here now. It should work. Oh, it does.
Wow, I can feel the air over here.
I know. It goes
That's
up.
gonna
Pretty good.
freeze them. That's a nice little unit.
Not bad, eh?
Put your flanges back here. So now that the AC is completed, Talon can fabricate and install the new exhaust system. We don't need the angle down and then that angle and then that angle. We need, a nice flow straight out. But if you can make some nice clean piping coming back and put some mufflers in it so we actually have some sound instead of just some drone. When you start building the exhaust system, with the intricacies on this one, all the different angles, and the fact that we were going off manifolds and pipes that were already there, by flanging it, putting a flange on the original pipe and the pipes that we're putting on, that makes them removable. so that if any work needs to be done, they can come off and be put back on rather than just welding a whole system together. I got some shiny stuff for you. I don't know whether they're gonna keep it chrome or painted, but
It would be a shame to paint this.
I take it you're all just a little crazy because you ride these on the road.
I got some shiny stuff for you.
Oh, look at this column.
Nice,
Kind
eh?
of beautiful.
You want to stick her in?
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know whether they're gonna keep it chrome or painted, but
It would be a shame to paint this.
I know, it's beauty.
No, it's sort of cool. We got two sort of resto mods on the go right now. 47 Ford. I think because we built this one from the start, this should be a little easier to build the exhaust nice and all that. But yeah, this will be a good one.
I look forward to seeing how this is gonna look a year from now when it rolls out of here. For now, it's all in Talon's head, but that's the key. You have to plan to avoid headaches down the road.
All right, have a good one.
Any kind of machinery has followers. And the rarer the machine, the more ardent the followers become in the love and support of that machine. So apparently the word got out with enthusiasts that we had a Vincent Black Shadow here, and we were contacted by the club with an eye to them coming and visiting, taking a look at the Black Shadow we got here, and giving them an excuse to sort of all get together and ride their own Shadows and various Vincents. So today's the day. Well, there's something you don't see every day. I take it you're all just a little crazy because you ride these on the road.
We heard there was a Vincent at the Guild Garage, so of course we had to get together, come over and check it out.
It's nice to see them out and alive.
Being written.
Yeah.
The Vincent Owners Club really tries to encourage owners to ride these bikes. These Black Shadows now are highly collectible.
I can't believe we got like 5 Vincents sitting here just outside the shop and 6 with the one in there. I mean, this doesn't happen very often, I can't imagine.
You should come to one of our barbecues.
Yeah.
A lot of these machines, as dynamic as they are, they're being taken off the road, put in museums, put in private collections, and never to be used again. And that's kind of a shame.
So what year is this bike?
This one is a 48.
So early.
Well, it was in boxes. So I carted it around for about 43 years, and finally, retirement project put it together.
This one's mine. I've had it for probably about 34 years now.
So you must be fed up with it by now.
No, I love it more every day.
I mean, to see these bikes all in that row, all a little bit different from one another, you know, it's a little special. But you guys want to see the one in here?
Yeah.
All right, come on in. Who wants to just give it a quick start? Any of you know how?
Contact.
Yeah, baby. So here's our example, and I appreciate your expertise taking a look at it. It seems a nice bike to me.
It's a beautiful example, and it's quite original. It has a little bit of extra chrome that was not original, but that's quite permissible these days. You know, it's more practical. Oh, yeah, this is a lovely piece, certainly museum quality. These motorcycles were built as a cost no object exercise. And they built a motorcycle that at that time cost a worker's annual salary. So these were definitely for a high-end clientele. Black Shadow was guaranteed for 125 miles an hour, which at that time, as you well know, was well above anything on the road. The people who did this were real visionaries.
Who wants to just give it a quick start? Any of you know how?
All right, we'll see what we have here.
Any old machinery, before the war and just after the war, there were techniques to starting them. And I mean, you became familiar with those techniques.
second kick.
When Phil got on it, just went, second kick, she's running.
This is very nice.
Yeah. It was nice to see because, you know, when we were starting it, it was a little rougher than that.
This one is mechanically very quiet. So it's had a very high quality engine rebuild. Beautiful bike, beautiful example.
I'm tasked with finding a new owner for it, and it's hard when you don't know that much about it. And I mean, I tell people, I have no authority on this, but here's what I know, and now I know a lot more, so thank you very much. It's good having you all here. I mean, seeing those bikes here all in one group, that's pretty special, guys.
Just about buttoned up. That looks really good. Nice flow to it.
Doesn't touch anywhere.
Nice. Oh, that's nice. I mean, to do it this way rather than the bender because there's so many fine little angles on it.
You can get really precise with this.
Yeah, it looks good. I like the way you flanged it on. Let's hear what she sounds like. So it's just not bat, bat, bat like it was. All right, contact. Woo. Yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's way better. Way better. Sweet.
Sounds like a muscle car.
Ooh-wee. I'm pretty happy with the work that was done on this truck. Talon finished up the exhaust on it. Ron did a hell of a lot of work on it, put the AC system in. A new style radio that we've never used before with a flip-up screen, and it's like having a tablet in there. It's a beautiful truck. It's just about ready to roll. A few little wiring things, and it's going home. I love when we get the customizations, the modifications, that we can put the owner's stamp on that vehicle. Everybody loves a hot rod. They're loud, they're proud, and they're rolling pieces of art.